Okay, so it's come to the point where we're putting down the trim piece. This is actually what we got right here. If you can see this part is going to go to the floor to work the carpet to. This is going to set up on the flooring. And these little grooves right here are going to snap into this track. So we need to install this track to the floor. So what I want to do is see how long I need it. Right about right there, right here. And if you can see here, there's some little lines, score marks on that. So what we want to do, you can just put your thumb right there on that, snap it, and it'll break right on that mark. Okay, so now that we got it to length, we're just going to put it down here on the floor. This is concrete, so I do have to drill an anchor. So I want to go ahead and mark. If you can see right there, I'm going to mark my holes with my pencil where I need to drill. You don't have to do every hole. Every other hole is going to be fine. So it's going to be plenty enough to hold to just by doing every other hole. Okay, so if you can see my holes I got marked there. So I'm going to go ahead. This is concrete, so I've got to drill them out. I've got my concrete bit and my hammer drill. This is set to the depth of the nails that I want to be using, so I'm going to go ahead and drill this out. So now that I got all my holes drilled, I want to take my vacuum, suck all this dust out, up and out of the hose, and get the hose cleaned out real good for my anchors. Okay, so we got them all cleaned out nicely. Alright. You can see here in my hammer drill box, got a slot here. I actually just buy these little dowels. I use a 3/8 hammer drill bit to drill these. So I just went to Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever and got these 3/8 inch dowels. And I just cut them up in pieces big enough to fit in my little slot here. That's what I like to use for anchors here. So I got a 3/8 hole, so I'm going to put this 3/8 down, just tap it down till it bottoms out. That's going to give me something real nice and tight. Now if you just take your hammer and tap it right at the bottom, it's going to break off there real nice. Not going to be sticking up or anything. This is sure better than putting anchors, not cheaper. Okay. Now that I got that done, got me something I can nail to. Some people might like to screw it, but I'm just going to nail it. It's fine. It's going to hold just as fine because I got them wood dowels in there, so it's going to get a nice and tight grasp. So I'll go ahead and just get all my nails almost all the way drove in. I'll leave them up just a little bit, and then I'll come back and tap them in with my chisel. I'm actually going to use just my flat chisel here to finish driving these in rather than a nail set. For no particular reason, just because it's convenient. So it's going to work same as a nail set if you don't have one. This is so fragile what snaps into that. If it's not, I don't know if you can see that or not, it's got little grooves on the side, and that's actually what locks it in right there. So if you push it down or get it sideways, those little grooves get knocked off of there. It's not going to have any grasp to grab a hold of down there, and it's not going to stay put. It's going to just be loose on you. So you got to make sure your track is proper. Just to get on those little grooves right there is what holds it in. So I'm going to, as you can see, it ain't all the way to the wall. It's the same down there. It don't have to be perfect to the end of the wall because it's going to be held tight right here. This little dab is not going to hurt anything. It's where the score mark was, is where I snapped it, so it was just about 2 inches short. So I just kind of centered it, left an inch here and an inch down on the other end. So now I'm going to measure my piece. I'm going to do about 58.5. Just in case anybody's curious of what kind of trim this is, right here's all the information. I'm going to step out and cut this on my chop saw. So now that I got this cut to the desired length, I want to, I was talking about it being so sensitive, these little teeth under here. So you want to be real careful. Make sure you do have it in the track proper before you go tapping on it or mashing it in. And so what I'll do, I'll get where I can see it, and then I'll just slide it to the end right there and make sure it stays in the track. That way I don't have no issue. I want to take my rubber mallet, just tap it in while I got it held. Now as I'm tapping this in, I don't want to hold this one side or the other. As I tap it in, those teeth, you see here, here's the track right here, and the teeth that go inside of it hold it. So it's actually going to line itself up as I'm tapping it in there. That's it. That's the installation of the transition piece.